All right. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be back here again. Good evening. I can see Madam Joy. Also happy to see David today, who's also home. I can see Toka Day owner. Not very familiar with that name, but thank you so much for joining us. I can see Tina Jerem, my darling. How are you? Good to see you. Oh dear, I will have to unmute everybody. You have the noise continues. Please try to mute from your end. That would really help us so that we can wrap this up in the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. I don't plan to keep any. We have Esther. Hi, Esther. Thank you so much for letting Amoya come in. Hi, Kola.
What? I'm not hearing it.
Thank you so much to everyone. Thank you for being here. Please come in. Hi, Juliet. Hi, Margaret. How are you? Good to see everybody. Joy
Is that in Iska?
Oh wow. So
It's not
we
easy.
have to meet everybody because yeah, they'll have to meet us all so that we can all concentrate. I guess that we won't be able to do it. So if I need you to speak or if you need to speak, we'll just do the way we did with the teenagers so that we can all concentrate. So why are we having this webinar this evening? Why am I bugging you guys with another webinar after holding the children for 4 hours plus and after I've had like a week of speaking engagements back to back? But why are we back here again? Why are we having this conversation with you all again? Hi, Mommy Michael. Thank you so much for joining us. You could say your hi in the comment section. I would really love to say hi to you. Why are we having this conversation again? It is simple. I didn't think of doing a parenting workshop, right? With the conference when we started planning. The initial goal was to run the conference the way we did last year. We were part of us last year, which was basically just academic-based conference with children. But as we took feedback and as we reviewed, we decided that if we were to raise just academically excellent children who lack life mastery skills, then what are we really doing? Because at the end of the day, as much as I advocate for academic excellence, we need well-groomed, well-rounded, holistically, children raised holistically to thrive academically and to thrive in the world, right? So that was when we decided that, okay, this conference has to be an intertwining between academic excellence and life mastery. You can be academically excellent but useless in the world. The way we say it in the Christian folk, that you can be heavily minded but earthly useless. A child can be academically excellent but useless in the world. And if that child, a child who's not so academically minded, but understands the basic principles that guide everyday life, they're going to triumph. They're going to do so much better than your academically excellent child. That was why, if you listened in to any of the sessions today, we brought in life mastery skills to the conference. But the parenting workshop we're having today was inspired by one of the most inspiring parents I have spoken to in the past couple of years. Her son, I think 18 or 19-year-old son, what's his name again? Valo, will be speaking tomorrow. Please, I don't know if your children are in school, if they are out of school, please get them on that webinar. There is nothing on that session, even if they miss every other session, which I don't think they should miss. When you see that session, there is nothing like a child seeing a vision of possibility. Nothing beats a child seeing something that they can achieve and something that they can become. Look, guys, nothing beats it. And that was why we added Valor to the lineup this year. Valor won, I think, the best male student in WAEC 2022. If you were close to Pipe State, you would have seen. Let me quickly pop up his profile. Let me quickly pop up his profile so you would understand why we're doing this, right? Someone just liked that post. Okay. Okay. So Valo is a distinguished young scholar. From his early years, he stood out as a high achiever, graduating as the best student with distinction in all subjects in primary school. He got the first position in the NTIC NMC National Mathematics Competition in 2020, in 2016. That was about 9 years ago. Then he also got a scholarship award from JSS1 to SS3. In 2022, he graduated as a valedictorian of his set, earning 9 A's in WAEC. Margaret, I think you guys were in WAEC too because you're all West Africa. He earned all A's in WAEC, a feat that shook the education space. That same year, he got an award for the national distinction in as the best male candidate in WAEC 2022, as well as the prestigious Clement Song Academic Excellence Award in 2022. His list of laurels includes an Icon of Excellence Award, Top Rate International School, one of the top schools in the world, the city where I reside. He got the Professor Joy Lucy Award, Best Junior WAEC Candidate in 2019. He got the Brookstone International Foundation School Award of Excellence 2024. He got the Board of Directors Leadership Award. In his IGS CSE, he had 5 A's. In his SAT, he had 1,480 over 1,600. In his IELTS, he got band 8.0. And his WAEC, he got 343 over 400. That's in his JAM. He's currently pursuing a BSc in Mechatronics Engineering at the University of Sheffield, United Kingdom. Now, this young man is the sample with a very image of what academic excellence looks like. But when I was speaking with his mom, because he has very intentional parents, and the list of you guys are going to take me, you guys are going to take Coach P out. The 9 mountains and the 7 seas I crossed to get this boy on board. I started talking to his mom at last year's conference, but it didn't click till this year's conference. And she was like, but wait, before these children listen to my son, I want you to tell the parents something. And I asked her to please tell me that, of course, I'm listening, I'm willing to listen. And she said that the success her son recorded and the success her children have recorded isn't accidental. We want you to hear that again. The success her son has recorded and the success her other children have recorded isn't accidental. It is the accumulation of an intentional, skill-based parenting approach that she started listing the things that she and her husband did when her children were growing up. As she said that thing, I felt this passion burning in my heart. She was like, I don't know what your plan is, but there has to be something. Talking to parents, that was when I concluded and I decided that no matter what we do in this year's conference, I must be able to sit with you all. Let's look at and dissect this parenting principle that has given this family this level of result. I know somebody's going to be like, oh, the boy is intelligent. But permit me to say that intelligence without the right structures at home would become no intelligence. So, whatever this family has recorded in the life of the children. Now, what baffles me is not just the academic excellence, it is the fact that these children are also distinguished moral wise, character wise, focus wise, leadership wise. According to the mom, her children are in a different continent, she's in a different continent, her husband is in a different continent. But she doesn't have a shadow of doubt as regarding the work she did. So really, guys, before your children listen to Valonet tomorrow, I want you guys to hear what Valo's mom says and contributes her child's success to. So now this leads me to the topic for today, raising future ready kids. The principle and power of skill-based parenting. Before I move on, I would like to do a quick poll. What is the biggest challenge you are facing in your parenting right now? So I want to hear us in the comments. Share your feedback with me. If you want to be unmuted, if you want to share, remember, this is not a webinar. I'm not coming to throw out concepts at you guys. You guys have heard the best coaches speak, so I'm not here to layer on what they've been learned and you've taught. What I'm here to is to take the knowledge you're getting and dissecting it into practical principles that you can begin to actually do. You've learned a lot of theories. The goal for this session is that you are able to do. That's the focus for this session. That you are able to act on the information. My goal is that in the next 59 minutes that this session is going to be on for, that you will leave here with just one thing to do. So that by the time we come back for Academic Excellence, AEC 3.0, you will, at the end of the day, you will go with just one thing to do. So Joy has given her feedback. We are about 14 of us on this call. I want the 14 of us to share. If you don't have a challenge, then come on. What exactly are we doing here? So thank you to everybody who is responding. Joy says that her major challenge is helping my children navigate the neurodiversity and everyday life. Beautiful response. What else are you navigating? It doesn't have to be a challenge. So you're not thinking about it from a problematic angle. So I am not saying that your children are having challenges. I'm not saying that you are deficient in your parenting. I'm not saying that your parenting structures are deficient. I'm just saying, what is your next goal? What hurdle are you trying to scale? What challenge are you facing right now? Remember, I said this is a workshop, not a webinar or a masterclass. So Joy has told us that she's trying to navigate the neurodiversity and basically the everyday life of the children. Okay, Joy has her hands raised up. Probably she wants to explain. Madam Joy, I'm going to unmute you in a bit. I need 3 more responses, okay? If I don't have the responses, then the workshop won't work. We might as well call it a day. Then me and Joy will stay so that we can focus on her, right? But I want this to be as as helpful for everybody here. Okay, so Madam Joy, I'm going to unmute you right away.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Good evening.
Good evening. Alongside navigating neurodiversity, I also want to talk about the impact of help allowing my children to do self-directed learning. So we have we moved to a new house. Even before we moved, we had this station in the house for where we do our art and craft, where we do Lego. So I before now I would get the Lego that they can use manuals to follow. And I realized that sometimes they get frustrated, especially my daughter. She's 6 years old. My son is 9, and she'll get frustrated that she's not able to. She wants to do it her own way rather than what the instruction says. When I realized that, I decided to just buy normal bricks and a base so that I can let their imagination run wild. And that way, she has been able to teach herself to construct what she's thinking. So she can construct Humpty Dumpty, she will construct what she's thinking about, what she wants. Like today, she's built like 3 different things and she's just navigated the way she wants to build it. And I realized that as she's building her verbal her words are coming out. She's interacting with her world and she's becoming more interested in using her imagination. So what I want to point out there is that letting my children navigate life through creative thinking and using their imagination has been a game changer for me. And it's something I would continue to explore and get support for. Thank you.
That is really amazing. Before you had even told me what you do, what you actually, I thought you wanted to ask a question. So I was like, if she doesn't want those close-ended toys, give her an open-ended toy that gives her the opportunity to. I'm happy you got to figure it out. Well done, Joe. You're really doing amazing. Well done, ma'am. Well done. Okay, so so you can mute now. Thank you. So we have 2 more comments. My time management and organization for my children. That's a proposed speaking. My children do not finish their chores or schedules without being pushed or motivated. So for these people who have shared so far, they are literally going to become our lab rats for this session. So what is a skill-based parenting approach? What is a skill-based parenting approach? A skill-based parenting approach is essentially being purposeful about equipping your children with the practical skills they need to succeed and survive and thrive in their everyday existence. So the key words here would then be purposeful, equipping, and practical skills. So, how are you identifying several phases of their lives that they are in, or you're trying to get them into, or what they're trying to navigate? And how are you purposefully equipping that child with the keyword SKILLS, skills? Like I said when we started this workshop, that at the beginning, this whole thing about the Academic Excellence Conference and the whole transformation that we're really trusting God to happen in the minds of the children. If there is no intentionally skill-based equipping approach, if there is no purposeful act to equip the skills that will enable them navigate what they learned during the conference, then honestly, there's no point for it. There's no need for a 3.0. It becomes an absolute waste of time. So when we think about the traditional parenting, what parents used to focus on was discipline my child, then they pass their exams, then I provide for my child. Those were the core. If you pick an average parent, they beat up the hell out of their child when they misbehave. Then they will now send the child to school and still beat them up if they don't succeed in the examination. Then from there, they provide clothing, shelter. And permit me to say that it is this approach of parenting that has put the world at the shambles that it is in right now. So guess what? We are having educated animals. Educated animals. Educated baboons. Educated tigers and educated snakes. People who do not have the skill to navigate the complexities of the human mind. That is why the world is in shambles. So if you're going to raise future-ready children who will really get into the world and master it and become the leaders of the ecosystem of the world, then you must take a skill-based parenting. So while a traditional based parenting just looks at three core things: discipline, I beat you, aura for aura, you do rubbish, I beat you do rubbish, I deal with you. Then academics, I send you to school, you come back with first 100%, you get scholarship. And I pay your fees. When you come out, you look like you have a mother and a father, and all of that. Skill-based parenting goes further by adding skills, by integrating a skill-based approach to their parenting. It could be life skills, communication skills, emotional intelligence skills, problem-solving skills, resilience skills, adaptability skills, impulse control skills. This is what a skill-based parenting personnel does. Permit me to say that at the heart of all of your parenting struggles is a lack of skills. At the heart of any struggle I'm having with my 6-year-old is either a lack of skills that have not been formed as a result of their age, because some of these skills are biological. Some skills, like the skill to focus, as the child gets, the better they are able to pay attention. So while some skills are biological, so as a child, it's the same way you don't expect a 1-year-old to become independent. There is a biological factor to it. There are also skill issues as a result of parenting gaps. So the question right now is, this issue my child is having, this issue my child is struggling, is it biologically triggered? Is it neurologically triggered? The truth is that for neurodivergent children, there are specific skills that they're going to struggle with. And it is not a result of biological issues, it's not a result of the biological gap, it's not a result of parenting gap, it's a result of a neurological gap. And there's a different approach to it. Until you are able to understand this, then skill-based parenting is not a thing you are ready to navigate. We are living in a fast world. I told parents the other day that you're living the world you were raised, the world you know, it no longer exists, it is gone. So we're living in a world that is fast-paced and unpredictable. While we might be raising academically excellent children. There are also significant gaps that we need to fill in to ensure that they are ready for the world. Because remember that that child you are raising, you are not raising him or her for your bedroom. That's one thing that keeps me awake. So when I see my daughter portray some attitudes, when there are skills she should have, she hasn't had. What keeps me on my toes is that I am not raising a child for my color. I am raising a child that will be forced to adopt to the world if I don't adopt her from my home. So your child can be academically excellent, but emotionally fragile. And that academically excellent but emotionally fragile child will struggle more in a real world than a moderately strong child who has developed resilience and adaptability. So these skill-based parenting, these skills are what children need to thrive under pressure and adapt to a changing world. So the struggles the child might be having, like the parent who mentioned, thank you so much, Chineke, God bless you, darling. That the parent who mentioned time management and organizational skills. Can we paint, remember I told you that I have it in my laptop. Can we paint a picture of the possible challenges this child will have if it is not intentionally dealt with right now? At this age, can you think of a possible implication of a lack of organizational skills and time management? Is there anybody who wants to unmute and let's paint a very wild picture together? Remember, it's a workshop, not a webinar. I'm not here to throw concepts at you. You've heard a lot of it. I think there was a people that mentioned time management. Lack of time management. Or if you hear the procrastinate, has procrastination ever procrastination, has it ever affected you so much that you wish you had that skill? Haven't you heard of people who lost an opportunity because they couldn't keep the time? Haven't you heard of people? Haven't I have sacked a person just because she did not have a frame of time management in the closest of her existence? I had coached, I had talked at a point I had to let her go. This is the world that is waiting for a child whose time management, organizational skills are not built right now. Do you think about the implication on their examinations? Do you think about the implication just of your child lacking time management? Do you think of this implication in the work world? So by the time we look at skill-based parenting, we're no longer just saying that, oh, my child cannot keep to time. No. Remember, you're not raising that child for your bedroom. You're raising that child for a world you don't even know how it exists. So when that picture comes in your mind, you will wake up. You begin to deal with it and navigate it right now that they are still in their formative stages. The second parent mentioned that her child does not finish chores and schedules without being pushed. One of the speakers in today's conference, my brother-in-law, he was telling the teenagers, right? He was teaching the teenagers about following through and pushing through. I hope your child was in that circle. Do you know the implication? Or rather, have you seen adults who do not have the closest, the tiniest bit of being able to follow through with tasks. Have you seen them in your lifetime? Have you seen people who jump from project to project? Today, I have one of them close to me. Today, she's learning cybersecurity. From cybersecurity, she doesn't want cybersecurity again. It's now data analysis. Oh, I don't want data analysis, it's too difficult. It's now, what's it called? Project management. Oh, I don't want project management again. Have you seen people who are unable to sit through the project? This is where it starts. This is where it starts. Here. This inability to finish the chores. Or have you ever employed individuals? Have you employed people who you have to push to do anything? Have you employed people who cannot take on initiative without being prompted? This is where it is going to. The lack of motivation, self-direction, and self-regulation. So when we look at skill-based parenting, remember I said in the beginning that every of your parenting challenges can be anchored on a lack of skills. Down to the societal vices that we are encountering today. So the question will now be, what skills am I to build in my young ones, in my children? So we're now going to look at core skills for every age. We're going to take it age by age by age. Remember, I promised you that I want you to leave this workshop today. After we are done with the practical perspective, I'm just laying a very basic foundation. I want you to leave here today with one call to action. When I see a problem, I think of the lacking skills. Even in your own life. What distinguishes Mbappe? I think I saw, was it I think it was wisdom I think he was saying that in the comment section during the academic experience conference that he wants to be the Mbappe or something. But please confirm, what distinguishes the Mbappe that wisdom or wisdom? I can't remember which of the songs that was so crazy about. What distinguishes the Mbappe from the footballer in one village in Akwa Ibom State where it is skills. What distinguishes your choir master from messaging that is going all over the world? Skills. What distinguishes Coach P, me, from the top parenting experts in the world? Skills. So, and this is even the anchor where the growth mindset that we teach children stems from. That whatever I lack, I can learn. That's even where it stems from. That whatever challenge your child is having to navigate, there are skills that can help them. There are skills that can support them. All you need to know and identify and set out are the skills you need to begin to inculcate in them. I know that China Jerem has a very little child who's probably a toddler. If you're not going to have if you're not going to have to deal with certain problematic behaviors in your child's teen age, there are skills you must begin to develop now. If that child is not going to get to 15 and will become a literal terror, there are skills that that child needs, that your daughter or your son needs. So I'm using Chinachera because I know her personally. The same can be said of you. Question is, what are these skills that I need to develop? There are countless of them, but what I have done is just to find out the core skills that are necessary. Skill number one for early childhood between the ages of 0 to 6 is emotional regulation. Skill number one, permit me to say that emotional regulation is probably one of the best skills you can give to your child. Because out of emotional regulation stems motivation, stems self-regulation, stems impulse control. Out of it, when we hear emotional regulation, what we're thinking about is helping children understand and manage their emotions. But do you agree with me? I'm asking a question, guys. Do you agree with me that emotion is at the center of an individual's ability to control their impulses? The ability to manage how they feel is what holds a person who saw something and was tempted to pick it up, and another person who picked it up. Emotional regulation. One of our speakers today was saying, I wrote it down to the parents. He said that time management is an emotional skill. Yeah. Time, so if your child is dealing with time management here, it is an emotional skill. And trying to find, he said, to manage your time, you must be on emotional. The reason why some people struggle with time management is because they are emotional about the time, about the activities that should be carried out at that time. If you are unemotional about your management of time, it will reflect in the way you are able to navigate your activities. For instance, you see, my body, soul, and spirit on a very good day will not be here for this session. There's nothing you want to do to get me to speak by past 8. It's not like I'm on my bed, like probably now. If you join me in sleep, I would have crossed the borders of Nigeria. I'd have gone far to the dreamland. But because time management, responsibility is unemotional, what I owed myself to do was to disregard how I feel to follow through with the task. What I'm trying to explain to us is the place of emotional regulation, the place of being committed to ensuring that your child does not move past 0 to 6, still throwing undue tantrums. Because some of the issues you're going to battle in the teenage age, you could have built the skill in early childhood. Emotional regulation. How do they control their emotion? The emotion is beyond it's beyond big feelings. It is basically controlling how they feel the time to be able to thrive in today's world. The truth is that this emotional regulation is what distinguishes high flyers from low flyers. High flyers, was Paul that said in the Bible that he subdued his flesh. Do you know the amount of emotional regulation needed to say no to your flesh? So if we're going to raise sexually disciplined individuals in adulthood, it's not in teenage age to start shouting, that allow boy to touch you. The foundation is built friends from emotional regulation. The next one would then be communication. Communication is not just speak, I hear. The child is developing language. That's not just communication. Communication is a major tool for navigating the world around them. Communication and curiosity. It is a skill you must intentionally build in your child's early years. The last one is early responsibility. Responsibility is said to be an individual's ability to respond to situations. It is not when your child is 10 that you're shouting, you are not doing this. I see parents do that and I just shake my head. It's not when a child is 10. I don't care how many helps and how many and access to relatives you have. If you need your child to take initiative, it is from very little minute chores. Just a simple search to Google. What are age appropriate chores my child should be able to do at the time? This skill is pivotal. Responsibility. The ability to respond, to see X and decide that X is not here, and we keep it as a family. This X should be kept here, or Y should be kept here. So if you understand these skills, there are things you do not overlook. Building your child's responsibility is as simple. It is as simple as putting your foot on the ground, that things must be kept in their right position, irrespective of age. So from the first time the child starts going to kindergarten, that is when they begin to know that in this house, it doesn't matter if you're the most organized person. Once you have a child, these are the simple ways you begin to build those skills. Let me stop here because if I keep going on and on and on, I just wanted to give you concepts that you could go over in your own time to begin to brood and research over them. Now, for middle childhood, that is school age, the skills that are needed, that you continue building social skills. The ability, social skills is, oh wow, social skills isn't just a child's ability to socialize and become the life of the party. Social skills is the child's ability to read a room. That's a social skill. Because if you say social skills, not wrong with it. Hey, let my child go. Let them be social. Let them what they call those things. Let them go for parties. Let them go for brunch. Let them go for forgetting what I wanted to say. Let them just go. Let them socialize. That's not it alone. Social skills are relational skills. How to treat people in order for them to be seen. That's social skills. So the ability to share. Sharing is a social skill. Empathy. The ability to feel the pains of other people is a social skill. Social distancing. Knowing that there is a space that if I'm going to talk to someone, I should be able to understand personal space and allow them have their personal space. That's social skill. So social skills is not just the child's ability to be social, to be able to make as many friends as possible. No. Social skills involves your child's ability to be relational and be relatable. Another skill for middle childhood is problem solving. You see, in this skill-based parenting approach, your child must see life through problem solving. There's something I do with my 6-year-old. For every time she comes with a question, I pose the question back to her. Mommy, why is this? Because I don't know. I don't know. Someone asking me, does your 6-year-old bad you with questions? I'm like, don't know. You don't know how many times in a day I have to say, please, can mommy have a personal space? Not now. So a lot of times in that middle age where they have built curiosity, they are curious, they want to know why X, Y, Z is happening and why they saw X and why we did Z. It is a good time to build problem solving skills, guiding them to find solutions for everyday problems, everyday challenges, and everyday conflicts. That is the problem solving. Oh, I cannot open my water bottle. It's as simple as that. Mommy, please help me open this. I cannot open it. My favorite word is try. Because you can do anything you set your heart to. That is how I am building problem solving skills. At every step, and there is a challenge. My goal is that she first tries to figure it out. And I have another favorite thing I say to her, that everything is figure outable. Oh, mommy, my dress is not locking. Oh, my dress doesn't want to close. Oh my, and you know, it's very at this age, it's very easy for them to become frustrated. My favorite word in the comments too is everything is figure outable. She's like, what is figure outable? It's a long word. I say, let's break it down. It's figure. You can figure it out. So that means it is figure outable. It's a very simple. So when they, you know that the quote said that the exams of the classroom are the simplest exams your child can ever write. The toughest ones are the exams of life. And what ensures that person A falls into a challenge, person B falls into the same challenge, but it says person A skills. It is the problem solving approach. There are lots of adults in the world today who do not have problem solving approach. Their approach to life is to quit. They meet a challenge. Their default setting is to quit. This is where skills come in. So you're going to ask, how is my child figuring out how to button her shirt going to help her in the world? The problem solving skill muscle building. How is my child who is 6 learning how to talk? That going to influence her being bullied? Can I be heard? Everyone, please let me know if I can be heard in the comment section. Please let me type it can be heard because just so I'm laughing now. I wanted to confirm that I'm not alone. I am not alone. Okay, let me have you. I'm here, Coach P. Right on. I can hear you. Let me know one thing that you've heard. Okay, Kulawali, put yourself on the spot. What's one thing that you've heard? One thing, one thing, one thing. Okay, Chineke can hear me. If you just go calm and cool, please now help me in the comment section. All right, thank you. I was saying that what distinguishes a child who gets into the boarding school and they are bullied up until death, and the child who gets into the same school, faces the same bullying, but is able to scale. It is this thing that you are building from middle age. Thank you so much, everyone, for responding. It is this thing. So you see, these are not the only skills. Probably I will do an ebook on this. These are not the only skills. But what I'm saying is that at the heart of any parenting challenge you're having is a lack of skills. Let me put in the comment section. At the very heart of that struggle you're having with your 16-year-old is the lack of skills. I have a relative who is the most disorganized individual I know in this world. And right now, with my knowledge of parenting, I can see that at the heart of that challenge that that girl is struggling with is a lack of skill, no matter what, no matter the challenge. I had a child during the session. I will take tomorrow, I'll take no, so when we're having a parenting session tomorrow evening, I can come and call the child's name. He was like, oh, you know, it was kid friends. I remember that. He said he wants to be a pastor. Like I have a problem with public speaking. I don't like to speak outside. And I told him, I gave him the instance of the tools man with his tools. And I was like, anything anybody knows how to do excellently, they have spent time building. So you and you're getting value. It is for your need. It's years of building. So take this to your personal life, that whatever you're struggling with, it is a skill to be built. So take it to your personal life, you teach your children, you imbibe it in your parenting. It's a lack of skills. Take me anywhere. Another skill is discipline and time management. Prioritizing homework is a discipline issue. In discipline, we have self-regulation. In discipline, we have self-control. In discipline, we have self-leadership. In discipline, we have self-leadership, self-sovereignty. That is an asset. All of these things I'm calling are at the heart of discipline. So you see, when people parents hear discipline, what they hear is spare the road and flog, spare the road and flog the child. Spare the road and spoil the child. That's not all discipline is. It does all your own discipline. Your own discipline is just repeating children up and down. We should go abroad if you're in Nigeria, so that social services will carry those children from you. Discipline is not in beating, it's not in spanking, it's not in yelling. It is the system that are set in to uphold character. It is the systems, the structures that are set in to uphold the desirable behaviors, to reinforce the desirable behaviors. That is discipline. These are the skills you must build in your 7-year to 12-year-old. So if you now have teenagers, critical skills that you should now build as teenagers. Number one skill is decision making. After the last leadership session at the conference, somebody asked a very beautiful question. I think it was Ronald Ojo. He said that he's been inspired and he wants to go to school and lead himself. But what happens if he's the only person within the group of his friends who wants to live a particular lifestyle and everybody else wants to be a mediocre? And that was such an insightful and thoughtful question. As I heard that question, it reiterated the need for decision making to be at the core of your child's teen years. Remember at your child's teen years that your influence in their lives begins to dwindle, and peer influence and the influence of media becomes stronger. So if there is a tier, parental influence, peer influence, media influence, it was like pyramid, the Maslow's hierarchy. If it was in a hierarchy, parental influence, peer influence, media influence. I hope you know that at this age, your parental influence has gone to the back burner, and media influence and peer influence now take the front row. What ensures, what skill has been deposited in this child to ensure that at this age, when they begin to see us do guy and do mother and do father, what ensures that at that age, where they no longer want to be all lovey-dovey and honey, sweetie, bunny, and all of those things, what ensures that they will be able to make the right decisions? So you see that if you're a helicopter parent here, if you're a laissez-faire parent here, you are anything short of intentional. You are setting your child up for indignation in their teen years. Because it is very natural. By the time there's like a full blowing up of emotions, by the time there is a full, like, they are getting into their teenage age, the boys are having the girls' voice, the girls are having breasts and pubic hairs and seeing their periods and having emotions and crushes and all of these things. What skill have you put inside to control the influence that their peer will have on them? What is that skill? You might say that skill-based parenting is equipping your children with their different skills for the future. That was why when I said that you're not raising a child for your bedroom. Well, if we were raising children for our bedroom, do you know how sweet parenting would be? Because we know what is inside our bedroom. You're raising a child who's going to get into the gutters of the world. You're raising a child who's going to get into the pit of this world. How are they equipped? This is where decision making. How are they able to weigh their decisions? Is there an intentional way you are teaching it? Are you practicalizing it? Or your 6-year-old comes and says, Mommy, I want to wear. It's as simple as your 5-year-old saying they want to wear mismatch. And you want to put your foot on the ground. You must wear what I say. Sometimes you have to insist. These children need this. Me and my mother have a 6-year-old who is now after my heels. We give her the normal shoes. I say, no, we are wearing heels. So I get it, trust me. At the same time, sometimes give a listening ear to their voice. That is how you teach them to trust their decisions. Sometimes when a decision has repercussions, allow them. Sometimes I kept on buying wristwatch for my daughter. Every month there's a new wristwatch. Every month, if she does not give it out, she misplaces it. And at the point I was like, okay, well, no wristwatch again. We will not buy wristwatch. We will not buy. After the last time when she was giving the wristwatch out, I said, because in skill building, I also understand that it's very empathetic. But in my own skill building approach, I know that her empathetic nature will be taken for granted, sorry, in the world she's getting into if she doesn't strike a balance between using her brain to have empathy. So the last time she was giving away her watch, it was actually to my brother, my baby brother, because I have a 7-year-old baby brother. When she was giving the watch to him, I was like, you don't buy watch again. Because every time you come to visit your grandmother, everything you have, you just be dashing. Your mother is not Jagaban. I won't buy it. But like, okay, it's okay. I like to give. I said I will not buy. He said I like to give. My husband got me a gift. A wristwatch. This girl got jealous. Hey, because you got your wife. You got your wife. It's because she's your wife. And she got your wife wristwatch. When I don't have any wristwatch. I was like, babe, the last one that somebody gave you as gift. Didn't you give it out? This was it. I could have fought with her. I could have, there's nothing there. But I needed that. It took 6 months for it to click. It took 6 months. January, December to it is not 6 months for Jesus. 9 months of seeing her friends wear these watches and she doesn't have this watch. It took that length of time for you to click. Sometimes you have to keep your things to yourself. So, do you think that next time when she has something, she will just give it out because she, in my dialect, says, Onyomemeka. We like to do it good. That was so. When next she comes in a situation where she feels like giving something out, she will think about it again. But at the same time, I also would need to sustain her ability to be empathetic. This is my subtle way, very subtle, no fighting. This time I'm waiting for her. My 6-year-old, I don't know what it is with her and books. I don't know the razor blade inside her hand, tearing her school books. This year too, she's getting into. I am just setting trap for her. Trap. I'm going to be that mother. You have seen those reels where children lose their water bottles and their mother gives them plastic cans. Me, I will be that mother. You see this year too. I will be that mother. So you go back and identify the skills that are lacking. What loopholes do you need to tighten? What excessive habits are you enabling in the disguise of discipline? The child will do something, you will flog the child. The child will sometimes allow them feel the pain. When they tell parents that disciplining intentionally, the discipline that works is more difficult than beating, people don't agree. You know what it means for your child to wear slippers to school? And you know you cannot afford it, but you just want to teach a lesson. You just want to teach a lesson. Do you know the pain? I once read of a child, of a parent. This is what discipline is. Friends, this right here is what discipline is. These are the ways you build skills that the child will never forget. So if the child doesn't manage time, sometimes keep quiet and use teachable moments. Life would always provide teachable moments in our journey. Use those teachable moments to instill the skill you have been shouting like Lucozade Post for the longest time. Leverage those times. Leverage those opportunities. They are called spontaneous teachable moments for a reason. I read about that parent. Apparently, his son went to school, his daughter, I can't remember the details right now. This child goes to school and he mocked someone about their shoes or something. That's my kind of parents. Oh, I think it was school back. I don't know. But let's assume it was school back. It was a real lesson. She took a video. This child goes and mocks a child in school about grabbing the school bag. The father went, asked the teacher to snap the school bag, bought that exact same school bag, or gave, I can't really remember the details, but he did something in this line. Imagine you saw somebody's school bag. Went and school bag was really not cute. It was really not fine. He went and buys that school bag or gets that school bag, or I don't know what he had did, but and he ensured his child went to school carrying that school bag. There are lessons you don't teach by yelling. There are lessons you teach. There are skills you build by leveraging teachable moments. I've now started showing you how to build skills. So if your child doesn't do their homework, why are you shouting? Just
just make sure that the school has a set consequence. Just make sure. If they don't have, make sure for your child there's a consequence. So there's 1 in 1, 1 in 2, 1 in 3. When they get to school, and that consequence is meted out, you will be the ones reminding you. I once heard the story of a parent who kept on telling the child, you go to school, you go to school, you go to school. You don't wake up early. It was a thing. It was like, oh, after all, the driver would take me to school. After all, mommy would drive me to school. Now this particular day, the boy wasted a lot of time. And the mother got in the car and told him to trek with her. So she was driving slowly, and the boy was trekking behind. And that was how he trekked to school. There are lessons a child will never learn. If there are skills that will not be built, thank you, Chineke. If you are not leveraging, don't know, that boy, after he trekked that distance for the first time in his life, then he will wake up late again. You must be able to leverage teachable moments. Another skill you must build is digital literacy and responsibility. If you are here and your child who is less than 16 has an individual device, like a personal device, we all have our personal devices. Come and tell us the God of, because you must be a miracle working, wonder working, protocol breaking God. Let's follow you and serve him. In today's world, parents are literally giving their children access to the World Wide Web without systems, without skills being built. I was listening to a coach who focuses on teaching about drug addiction. And he was saying that some group of children who are susceptible to addiction are agreeable people. People who in Tim LaHaye's temperament, his temperament framework, they are phlegmatics. People who are very conscientious, they're very agreeable, they don't have a mind of their own, they are more disposable to becoming addicted. So the question is, if this is your child and you're giving them access to media where they begin to read up on several ideologies, what system are you putting in place to protect that child? These are the skills they must learn. Then if we're dealing with young adults, we have financial literacy. Don't even bother to explain. A lot of us send our children out into the world, don't know the basic financial principles. Saving, planning, controlling impulse spending, investing. These are skills. So when you see a 23-year-old who goes for service and comes back with money that is enough to start a business, and you see another 23-year-old who went to the same service here, had almost the same opportunities, but has come back home with nothing, now you know the difference. Another skill is career navigation. This is the skill you must teach your young adults. Independent living skills. So let's quickly look at the framework, then we personalize it and call it a night. I hope this has been, you just got it, like I told you, I'm not here for you to get everything. I just want you to go with one thing. If you go with one thing, then I have not wasted the night. So what are the how to, your practical 3-step framework? You're thinking, this is amazing. So I just need to look for the skills. But how do I do it? That's the 3-step framework. It is my OEE framework, OE squared framework. Can I see it in the comment section? OE squared. OE squared. That's the framework we're using and we're calling it. OE squared framework. OE squared. O is observe. Can I see observe in the comment section? Let me write in the comment section. Let me write. Number one, so we said that the framework is O, E, E, which is O, E squared. The first pillar of the OE squared framework is to observe. For you to know the skill your child needs right now, you have to take the back seat and look at your child from the standpoint of a coach. You have to take the back seat, move back, and look at your team, look at your child from the standpoint of a coach. When a coach looks at the player or the person they're coaching, they don't just look at them from what they see. They observe it. They identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the challenges that they have. Are they are they having issues with meeting up with their homework for the new session? Okay? Could it be a time management skill? They have problems showing empathy, caring, taking turns, sharing. Could it be a social skill? So now let's practice. Remember, this is a workshop. Now let's take a step back to practicalize the O in the OEE framework. Observe. Go back and observe. What skill is your child lacking? My own child is organizational skills. Part of the skills is lacking is organizational skills. So I'm not here as an expert. I'm here as a parent like you. So in my observe phase, I have noticed that my daughter does well with social skills. She does well to an extent with emotional control. When you see executive functioning skills like organization, ooh, 2/10. Now, since this is an academic excellence conference, guys, I'm not seeing us in the comment section. I guess we're sleeping. Let me go to bed. I still have a session with the children tomorrow. So if we're not here, we call it a night. I believe we've gotten something. I want us to remember it's a workshop. I'm serious. We're not here, we call it a night. We call it a night and we say goodbye. Honestly, if you've gotten the value, the 9 of us on this call, it's okay. We just call it a night so that we can all go rest. Thank you so much, KK, for that comment. The following, thank you. So I said your role now is to observe. Remember, it's a framework. So in your observation, I've said my own skill in observe. I've noticed that my child lacks organizational skill. Like it's an issue for her. What is your child lacking right now? And what are you going to work on? What biological, remember we talked about biological gaps, neurological gaps, or parenting gaps. So thank you, Praise. Praise has said time management. So that is it. You have observed that to me, Coach P is organization. Praise and Doche come is time management skill. Fantastic. Thank you for indulging me. Then the E in the OE squared framework is then equip. Equip. So now you have observed skill and they are lacking. The E then is to equip. In the equip phase, that is the teaching phase. It is at this phase you do that thing I said initially, identifying teachable moments. You teach by setting consequences. You teach as a way of life. You teach by talking, by communicating. You teach by setting consequences. You teach by identifying spontaneous, teachable moments that life has given to you on a platter of food. You teach by modeling the behavior. A lot of times, the skills our children lack are skills that have not been modeled. Write it down. Sometimes, the skills your child lacks are the skills that have not been modeled. The skill my child lacks, I don't know the right thing. The skill. So if you're saying that your child lacks organizational skills, if you tell yourself the truth, do you have organizational skills? Because don't forget that Maria Montessori said that children are like sponges. And what do sponges do? They soak up. That's what sponges do. They soak up every liquid within their environment. So sometimes, if there is a skill your child lacks, there is nobody within their immediate environment modeling it. Why do you think that the children of academics do well in school? Because the parents spend their whole lives writing exams. Check it. Remember your principal's child. It's not because their father was the principal. It was because this life of study was modeled. Why do you think a lot of preachers' kids end up becoming preachers? It is because that thing, preaching, the study of the word, was what they saw. I had this teenager, because we were close in age. We all grew up together. But you know how people grow. In my dialect, they say, I'm just going to transcribe it, that a person, like a beautiful girl, grows and waits for others. So I grew, started mentoring them in teens church. Then they grew and met me, so we all became pairs. This young man went for all the trainings we went for. But right now, he is a tout in the city I grew up. What makes Stephen a tout and what makes Precious what he is? Do we hate the same words? We attended the same church through our childhood. It was what he saw. If I was talking to in a Christian setting, I would have said it was the back door that was open. Sometimes the skills you lament are the skills you are lacking. So, the way we've talked about organizational skills, is there anybody modeling organizational skills? I know a person an adult, who has no sense of organization in their life. A mother, beautiful mother, amazing mother, fantastic mother, a better human than all of us. But her mother lacked organizational skills. She lacked organizational skills. It has flown to her children. So we go to visit them. I once watched a movie. So apparently, someone's sister came to their house to visit them. And yeah, it was like a white movie. The house was so disorganized. The house was turned upside down. That this person who came to visit her brother or her sister as a place movie called the policeman that her sister's house had been burgled. So they called 911 and they came and truly the house looked like it had been burgled. So while the policemen were there making investigations, the family steps in and like, what happened? And the sister runs and hugs her sister and like, oh, your house was burgled, I'm so sorry. So the children were shocked. But oh, this was the way we left our house. So when the one of the little boys wanted to talk, the mother just, I don't know if anybody has seen that clip. The mother just closed his mouth. So when they left, our house was broken. This was how we left our house. That is a pattern. So beyond all the skills that I've mentioned, ensure that there is a person mirroring the same skills that we want to portray. The next skill would then be empower. The E in the OE squared framework would then be empower. Empowerment is simply allowing the children to relate the circumstance that they're struggling with. Trusting them to simulate it, equipping them and stepping back to allow them to make the mistakes. If you observe and equip without empowering them, you can't hit your chest and say that you have built skills that you've not tested. So if you built an organizational skill, before you say, oh, my child is now can now organize, it's your responsibility to test those skills. And that is where empowerment then comes in. So let's now look at one practical example. Then we'll have the floor to ask some questions where we all break it down. But I hope this has been valuable to you. Imagine your child struggles with sharing or taking turns. What skill do you think they lack? I'm asking a question now. If your child struggles with feeling for people, showing empathy, if your child struggles with sharing, if your child is impatient about waiting for their own turn, they're trying to give their siblings something and they cannot wait. What skill, rather than beating that child in the observed phase, what skill do you think that that child will be lacking? And what skill do you think that that child will be struggling with? We have the floor. Because I want us to use this to simulate possible scenarios. Then you can now use it to find the scenarios in your own life. A teenager procrastinates on school projects and is missing a lot of deadlines. Somebody said emotional regulation, good at times. And this child is missing a lot of deadlines. What do you think that they're struggling with? Thank you, Toche, delayed gratification. That would be the sharing one. And all of this, from the emotional regulation to the delayed gratification, they can be circled and found under social skills. It can be circled and found under social skills. So you find it out that my child, it is not your responsibility to go back and study and research about social skills. How do you make them understand how their actions affect others? How do you make them understand how to navigate social situations that require compromise? How do you teach them to be empathetic? How do you teach them to practice waiting? How do you teach them delayed gratification? Teenager who procrastinates on homework, it's definitely what we talked about, time management and discipline. Don't understand how work needs to be done in time, how to prioritize responsibility, how to break down large bulky tasks into everyday bit by bit tasks, how to create a schedule and follow through, how to create structure. A child, a 6-year-old who has frequent temper tantrums and meltdown, we know that this child is struggling with what? Emotional regulation. They are overwhelmed by how they feel. What are you going to teach that child? I have come to the end of my exposition on skill-based parenting, and there's so much I could have shared with you. I didn't even finish my notes. I want us to take questions and practical responses in the next 5 minutes so that we can call it a day. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us here today. We also have this conversation tomorrow. We're having a deliberate parenting educator coming to still talk about how to equip your child for the future ready world. But in the meantime, you can now ask questions as you answer all the questions that I have asked. Okay. But the floor is open to everybody. I am now going to unmute so that if anybody has a question, you can ask your questions. Thank you, KK. Because if you have a question, you can now unmute yourself. If there are other scenarios that you might be struggling with that we did not highlight in this session, you are at liberty to highlight those as well.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Catherine. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Okay, so I have do I call it a question or a challenge? Trying to teach organizational skills. You mentioned something. You said that the skills that our children lack, maybe that which is not modeled. But I happen to be a parent who is big on organization. But
Yeah.
I see that it just seems like they are not getting it. I don't know. Like sometimes I just wonder how else can I, because even sometimes you'll be like, don't you see the way I do this and all of that? But it just seems like they're not really getting it. Sometimes I wonder, is it a developmental issue? Eh, I have 13 and 12, 13, 12, 8.
Okay, so definitely it's not a developmental issue because they should be able to have outgrown that phase.
Yeah, so it's a kind of a bother to me. You get to their room, the whole place is upside down. You're like, why is your room like this? And I wonder, is it that they don't learn from me? It's a challenge for me, and sometimes I don't even know how to handle it.
Fantastic. So remember when I thank you. Can I respond now?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. Do you know your children's temperament? So when I mentioned that it could be that you're not modeling, that's not a holistic response. So it could be that you're modeling, still they're struggling with it. So there are things that can be done. So do you know your children's temperament, their personality? How would you describe them?
Ah, each of them. Well, I have one. I think the youngest is a lot better at organization than the older ones, which is what I don't really get.
Okay, so what,
Maybe
what I mean by personality is what personality are
like,
they
yeah.
extroverts? Are they introverts? Are they sociable? Are they empathetic? The whole personality quadrant. So we have the sociable ones, the ones that are always sociable, loud. We have the meticulous ones who are rather quiet. We have the leaders, people who take responsibilities, people who lead the back. Then we have the consensus ones, the ones that are follow what my friend is doing, the what I will do. Where do you think that your children fall under?
Um, I have one who is sociable. Then I have another who is more like an introverted person.
Okay,
The third person, I don't even know where to place her.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So the reason why I ask for temperament is that in a lot of times, if you have a child, if you understand the sanguine temperament, the children who are very sociable, like the party, yeah, no matter how organized you are, that temperament is going to play a role. Secondly, you could be modeling organization, but if the older sibling doesn't model organizations, the younger ones will pick from them. So what I think you should do is to get involved in the modeling process. Sorry, get involved in the organizational process. So right now that as at the age they are at, organization doesn't come natural to them. How about setting reminders and enforcing organization? The petition comes, have you tried? If there's one you've tried, please tell me, because you're going to find solutions. So have you been able to stay after every 6 p.m.? It's either I, your dad, an elder in the house would set a consistent, at least for like 3 months, consistent reminders that bear consequences for the need for organizing their space. Or have you talked and talked and talked and all of a sudden you've given up? That's one. Number two, is there a clear, cut, concise, stayed out loud consequence for disorganized space? That is three. The next one, do you have helpers? Do you have people? A lot of times, children who grow up with a lot of battles around them, they lack the skill. Because there's always somebody helping you to do something, do the other one. You also check. If these adults are in the home and they will typically profess solutions, can you advocate that they are left? Another one is when they disorganize, because you said you organize, and probably you are, like my sister who doesn't have OCD, but she has straight of OCD. You want everything prim and proper. Is it possible that they know that if they disorganize it before they come back, you will arrange it? Is it possible that they know this and they have not been forced? Is it possible that your home doesn't have the routines of saying that at this specific time, this must be done? If you check Temi, I don't know where you are, whether in Nigeria, but I know there's Temi. There is a visual organizer for children that tells them the specific things that should be done at specific times. Still piggybacking on the last one on consistency. Do you find out that it's organized and probably there's somebody in the house who just does it for them and they do that, this thing is scatter, they shout somebody that will pick it? Have you considered breaking down the bulk of the responsibility into daily habits? Rather than saying, arrange your room, arrange your shoes. Can we start with focusing on when you wake up, just lay your bed first. Then, when that skill has been gotten, we now build on top of, okay, make sure that when you come back home, and we say that when you come back, you lay your bed. So, laying your bed in the morning, that one you can overlook. When they come back from school, can you ensure that this, then there's provision, there's consequence? Right? So, these are my suggestions. These are my suggestions around helping your child grow professional skills. So I want to know, do you think that this is something you're already doing? Do you think that there is something you can even just go and try out and see if you can build the skills? Over to you, Catherine.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have picked some things that I need to try out. There are some that I'm already trying, talking about, okay, consequences. I kept thinking, I kept thinking and racking my head around, okay, what consequences can we really put in place for
At
this
the end of the day, it depends
organization?
on your parenting style and your parenting strategy and your parenting values. So I can't really say, I don't know everybody's fears. I can't say, oh, you're supposed to do. So you check your parenting style. Do you use denial of privileges? Do you use timeout? What do you use, right? What exactly what discipline style do you use? So when you identify it, then you see a consequence style, then you see if that is what you're going to apply. You give screen time, are you going to withdraw screen time? Are there things the children value that you can withdraw to reinforce your decision this thing must be done. I don't know if that helped you
What
answer.
what I actually tried to do during this holiday was to um I actually gave them some screen time, a specific period of like 2 hours, 3 hours screen time daily during the
Mm.
holiday. So um I kind of tied that to, them having the screen time to their space being organized and every, other chores being done before they can have the screen time. And it kind of worked because I didn't have to like um remind them
So
to
there was
get
something
their
you were looking
space,
up to.
get their space organized and all of that. So they know that okay, before we can have screen, we have to ensure that okay, all chores are done, our room is tidy, and all of that. We have taken care of our hygiene and what have you. But so it seems to have worked, but I don't know if because I don't usually give them when school is in session, I limit their screen. In fact, they don't have screen during school session a lot, just maybe on weekends and stuff. So I'm like, okay, so if there is no screen now, will they, will
Yeah,
they?
well, you're actually in line. At the end of the day, the screen time works because it's a principle. So look for something else that you genuinely love. Enjoy it. Continue to do it. So screen time is one. What else? What else does your child not? It could be down to snacks, privileges, visitations, all of that, right? So think about it. You know, like I said, you know your parenting structure and you know what you can deny to be. There are things that our parents did. Maybe they've been telling you to do this thing, they've been doing 10, 10, 10, 10, they're doing like this, they're doing like this. But the day they stamp their feet on the ground, you know that this people mean business. Find your
Mhm.
main business part of your parenting. Find the part of your parenting that reinforces your main business. Okay, so I'm hoping that probably by the time we have another specialized parenting workshop that will come back with a better report, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have a message from Praise. She said, how do I help my child daughter overcome shyness? For example, her breast is growing and she pulls her arm on it. So, Praise, this is actually a two-tied question. Is your child, are you helping your child navigate puberty? Or are they shy before the puberty? They're two different things. It's totally natural for a child to be, it's totally natural, right? For a child to be self-conscious when they get to puberty. Very natural. So I think that one of the things you have to do for your daughter is to take them through puberty education, helping them know. There's a book that Coach Wendy wrote. I don't know if you're in the inner circle or you reach out to our place. It's called Walking Your Child Through Puberty. There is a way to walk your child through puberty, from hygiene to self-advocacy to protecting themselves, to understand what's going to happen to them. So I don't know, have you sat with your child? Have you explained to them on what is actually happening in their body? Have you explained it in a way that they are happy and proud that they are growing and they're becoming mature, right? Is there anyone teasing them that's making them feel uncomfortable? When I went through puberty, my mother didn't go do it the right way, right? Because of how chubby I was growing up, I had breast pretty early. And there was this consciousness because they had to get me bras when my friends were still wearing uniforms, and she didn't go about it the best way, right? So there are ways you could go about teaching your child. You could teach them to advocate for themselves. You could teach them for self-compassion, helping them understand that it's okay to feel shy because a new phase of life is happening, right? You can also teach them to identify their emotions since they are growing, and you know that with teenagers it's like a barrage of emotion. So to this answer, if your child wasn't shy and right now they are being shy, then there is a way to walk your child through it. And that is one way that you must learn. Number one, you must understand what is happening to them. So I've been explained it to her. I've been explained why that thing is happening to her and the fact that she's not abnormal and she's perfectly okay. That is one. Number two, do you use the right words? Have you leveraged teachable moments? Have you built connection with your child? You prepare them mentally for the stage, or you should just wake up and realize that, oh no, my breast is big. Do you have that safe space where your child can actually talk to you? Have you built that connection before the puberty started? How was your own reaction? My mother reacted to me going breast as if it was, as in, the way she reacted. I don't want to go into details. The way, like everybody around me had something to say about my little teeny weeny breast, right? And how are you reacting? I had aunties passing and they just clapping, hey, crush that breast, so you know. So how are you advocating for your child? How are you keeping your cool? How is your own reaction? Because I feel that when a child is shy because of the changes of their body, it is how what is the she. I was bullied in school. I was the first in my set to wear a bra. I wasn't wearing a bra. This tell me that every time that to say, who can tell me whose corner? You hear ta 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 was the sound because I was a young girl who was learning to wear a bra and the sound of my bra. And it made me so self-conscious. So what are the people around her saying? Praise, I hope this answered your question. If her being shy is related to the puberty. So you can let me know. Then if you think we should have more conversations, I'll be praise said yes. Okay. I'm happy you found yourself there. I'm happy to help. Okay, Joy, I'm just with Joy. Thank you so much, guys. I've had the best time, and I'm hoping that in the subsequent months we could have more of these conversations. And lastly, before I take Joy's question and we wrap up here, please share your reviews, right? Please help me share your reviews in the community so that parents know that, you know. So when I ask for reviews, please help me know, help me share with them so that they know that we found this value. And I like how closely this session works. Okay, Joy, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, Coach. Thank you very much for the extensive um, encouragement and lecture. Right? You say it's not lecture, it's interactive session. Yeah, thank you for the interactive session. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and I hope to listen to the replay. I think mine is more of a suggestion to the other mom that first spoke about her daughters. Another one thing that a mom with older kids told me she tried years ago was introducing the pocket money system. So pocket money system is assigning a particular money amount that they can use to do what you would normally do for them when they have developed money sense, so they can then handle those tasks. And so now my son turned 9 a few days ago, and when we're having our end of month family meeting, I used the opportunity to introduce the pocket money system. Do you know that it has just transformed his life? You know, he's willing to take up more responsibility because he knows that his pocket money will be complete at the beginning of the week, or no, end of the week, so he can do some shopping over the weekend.
Wow.
So I think if it's something you're already doing, you can make a big drama out of it and just say reintroduce it, revamp it, and see if it makes a difference. Especially if girls like shopping, that's normal. So especially if you're not able to use screen time during school time or term time. So I think the pocket money system may
Wow.
be helpful. Yeah. Just thought I should introduce that.
I
Thank
love it.
you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Catherine, I believe that you got something. Okay, everybody. Coach B got to run. Please, we have it.
Let's get our children in the room tomorrow. Please spread the word. Tomorrow's session is going to be amazing. Yeah. The speaker's coming up tomorrow. Hey, God. You miss it, you miss out. You miss it, you miss out. Okay, everybody. Got to run to have a very, very lovely night rest. And I cannot wait to see your amazing teenagers tomorrow. Meanwhile, you all are raising fantastic, amazing teenagers. Like today, I went all, there's Coach P and there's Teacher P. Today, I went all Teacher P on them and everybody aligned, and it was good to have everybody from, I can't even, I'm trying to see, from David to, I'm trying to remember, Abdullah, I'm trying to remember your sons. I think it was Fazai, let me know. Then the rest of you probably I can't tell your children's names because of, then of course my David said, David is such a cutie. David said, Mrs. Joy, David said, hello ma'am, what's the theme for next year's conference? I was like, David, we've not
That's
finished,
prophetic.
we've not finished this year's conference and you're asking for next year. But it was really good to have them. Like those guys make me so happy. All right, everybody, do have a very lovely night rest and thank you for being here with us. God bless.